Rescue operation underway across Turkey and Syria after a massive 7.8 magnitude earthquake ripped through the two countries before dawn, followed by a series of powerful aftershocks. The death toll now tops 2,700 and will likely keep rising as crews dig through the rubble. More than 120 aftershocks hit after the earthquake, including one almost as powerful as the initial quake itself. Buildings crumbled to the ground with people feared trapped inside. Others nearby having to run for their lives. Rescuers trying to reach those who are stuck under piles of concrete and debris. Like this little boy in northern Syria. You can just make him out in this video here, buried under the wreckage. Thankfully, he was pulled to safety. Rescuers also pulling this little girl from the debris in another Syrian city. The U.S. and other countries are offering whatever help they can. And President Biden said he has directed his team to provide any and all assistance immediately. CNN's Jumana Karachi is in Istanbul, Turkey. And Jumana, search and rescue teams are being deployed throughout that city. What is the latest? You have been reporting on this all day for us.
Beyond utter devastation stretching across 10 provinces in southern Turkey and across the border in Syria. You've got impacted areas in government-controlled parts of Syria, as well as the very vulnerable areas in northwestern Syria that are under opposition control. These are parts of the country where you have more than 4 million people who have been displaced by war, people who had nothing, and now they are finding themselves in this situation, and they just don't have the resources and the capabilities to deal with this disaster. We are getting information every few minutes, this death toll that is continuing to rise. According to Turkish officials, more than 1,600 people confirmed killed in Turkey, more than 1,000 also confirmed killed in Syria as well. And you've got these search and rescue operations continuing with thousands of buildings destroyed, damaged, and many buildings just completely flattened across this earthquake zone. It's a very complex and really challenging search and rescue operation, Biana. They're facing many challenges right now. Those aftershocks that you mentioned, more than 100 aftershocks reported by Turkish officials, making it very difficult for the rescue crews to try and pull people from under the rubble. It is nighttime right now, also another challenge. And then you've got the weather conditions. There's a severe winter storm that is impacting that part of the country, as well as many parts of Turkey as well. And also in Syria, temperatures expected to drop below freezing. And then you've got snow, making it very difficult for these crews to reach a lot of these areas. Again, we're talking about a massive area that is impacted, and they are trying to reach as many of these areas as possible. And then reports of roads blocked in many areas. Absolutely devastating situation, Biana, as well. You know, when you look at the millions of people who live in the earthquake zone, both in Syria and Turkey, people will be outdoors in this kind of weather tonight as authorities are scrambling to set up shelters and awaiting the international response from countries and different organizations, including NATO and the EU, that will be supporting Turkey through this disaster. Biana.
Just such horrific images to see there, and to know that this happened at 4 in the morning when so many families were just asleep, and seeing the death toll continue to rise, especially those images of the children there. Just heartbreaking. Jumana Karachi, thank you so much. Well, joining me now is Lucy Jones. She's a seismologist studying earthquakes and the founder and chief scientist at the Dr. Lucy Jones Center. Thank you so much for joining us. So we know that Turkey sits between fault lines, and small tremors do happen quite often there. But were you surprised by the magnitude of this particular earthquake?